Hello, hello, hello to you and also you. If you're watching us on LinkedIn, if you're watching us on Facebook, maybe you're even on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, forward. And for the beautiful people in Clubhouse who I love most, thank you so much for coming through. Good morning, Booney. Good to see you. Good morning, Krista. Hey, girl. Hey. So I'm feeling supercharged today. I don't know if it's because I got an adequate amount of sleep. I don't think we realize how important sleep is. And this morning, I didn't set an alarm clock. I went to bed at a decent hour and I feel so supercharged. But guys, if you didn't know, this is your 8 a.m. cup of motivation and this is your fit, healthy, and blessed club. Everything we do in this universe, it's all about being fit. It's all about being healthy and, of course, being blessed. And when you come into this space, by the way, we're here Monday through Thursday. You see all my beautiful hosts around me, right? The moderators, the hosts, the champions, the winners, the queens, whatever you want to call us, that's us. We're coming through here to motivate you. And if you didn't know, at 7:55, we kick those doors in with some type of motivational speaking. And today it was Denzel Washington. You wouldn't think that actors or basketball players or even comedians could be motivational speakers, right? But you hear them all the time. And you got to realize what they do is extremely, I'm going to say hard. I don't like using that word, hard, challenging, stressful, but they have to dig deep for themselves, right? To motivate themselves. So that's why it's easy for them to give these motivational speakers. But I don't know about you guys, but when I turn off that YouTube channel and it's just me alone sitting up in my room like Brandy, the motivation kind of leaves, right? It kind of leaves. It's kind of tough. So actually, I'm going to do this first as we begin. In the beginning, it's easy to be motivated, but then those things kind of go, right? That's where the inspiration comes into play. That's why we have this space here. That's why we are so consistent with what we're doing. And we've been doing this since about December of last year, and it is growing. And I just want to say thank you to all the mods that are in here. And inspiration goes deep, guys. But I like to put those things together. And this is devoted to my girl, Ashley, where we talk about discipline. Discipline and habits. What are your habits? Are you eating clean? Are you doing all the things to keep you motivated? Because that's what's going to keep you going, guys. And then lastly, when you come into this space, we're going to give you the tools, the skills, and the strategies to make all your dreams come true when it comes to fitness, exercise, and all that wonderful stuff. The topic of the day, as you can see, tips to fuel your cup. Last week, we were talking about grounding. We were talking about earthing, everything to just fuel your body, right? So here on Tuesdays, we like to get to the truth because some people like to skate and skirt around it. But in life, I always say the truth always comes out. That's why, when I was younger, I got to be honest, when I was younger, I used to lie. And then the lies just kind of lead on to more lies and more lies. But they just, they don't really go anywhere. So we're going to get started on our topic. But guys, it looks like there's 12 of us in this space today. So thank you. But there's only 6 shares. So I invite you, I ask you to just share the room out in the hallways because sometimes when people are out in the Clubhouse streets, by the way, if you're watching, I'm on my phone here. I don't know if you can see, and we're on Clubhouse. Just share it out in the hallways so we can get to that nice even 10 number or 12 number would be cool. With that being said, each and every day, guys, we like to give a fit tip of the day. So I'm going to turn She is blinking. All right, guys. So I figured when it comes to fitness, being healthy, in the morning, we like to be entertained, right? I don't know about you, but I love to have fun. I don't like the stale energy. I like the energy up. And this girl has got energy. So Ashley, you can unmic, guys. Again, if you want more, just get in the Clubhouse. Ashley, give us some edutainment, girlfriend. Hit it.
All right, everyone. First off, let's thank Tina for kicking in the doors faithfully and energetically, and I don't even know the other word I was gonna say, but oh well. So at 7:55, hosting a space Monday through Thursday. So today's edutainment, and the link is at the top. It is Medea singing Carly B at the what is it called? Mochella. You know how Beyonce did Coachella? Well, Medea at the end of her movie Homecoming, she did what is it called? Like a
compilation. Compilation.
No,
a montage. A montage.
Not montage.
A spoof.
The thing that Weird Al does, like
Will Alkovish, yeah.
Yeah, so she did that for Beyonce.
A parody, right?
Yes.
She did that for Beyonce's Coachella. So check out that video. She's actually singing Cardi B, and then it just reminds me at the end when I had first started off with the Elite Stars of how tired she was. I was like super tired. I wanted to just yell at everybody, but I'm too nice for that. And again, this edutainment is brought to you by the OWL app, where you finally can get paid to talk to your clients. And if you need to know more information, go ahead and check my bio. My referral code is in the bio. And if you sign up, you get $10. And right now, I'm running a special where I'm only $1. You get to call me for $1. Unfortunately, you can't call me for free because, I got to get paid too. So with that being said, back over to you.
Hey, thank you. And I will be sure to tap into that. Is that a TikTok? My niece, who is now 6, she loves TikTok. I don't get it. But thank you for that entertainment. I'm definitely going to look at it. And I see Cynthia has a heart here. As you guys know, we're here in the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed space. We like to give some type of fit tip of the day. Cynthia and Carmel kind of do it together. If she unmics, are you ready, Crin? She's unmiked, guys. She's ready. On YouTube.
I don't know what was going on. I was having issues and problems. I couldn't hear nobody. I kept going back and forth.
All right, we did see your beautiful face, but go ahead.
Okay. So the fit tip of the day, let me go to my other screen. Hey, it's the processed food, you guys. Stopping eating the processed food and how it damaged us. And the tip I have about how to navigate the stores into understanding the processed foods and where they are and where they located, besides reading the labels, as one of my coaches taught us, teach us how to read the labels and to make sure the amount of ingredients that are inside the labels, on the labels, and make sure everything is there and you know what you're reading. But I have learned if you shop on the outer perimeter of the stores where your fresh vegetables are, where your milk is, we're going to be careful with the milk, because all milk is not good milk. Everything that we need that's healthy is majority on the outside perimeter of the store. So please be careful when we eating. Don't even try to stay away from it, because it does a lot of damage to us. So the processed food, the foods that's in the boxes, the frozen foods, all the frozen foods that's in here, they claim that they're healthy. Read those labels. You'll see they're high sodium. You'll see the high calories. You'll see all those extra ingredients in there to help that food to stay that way. So please, I beg of you guys, please be careful of the processed food. Your high cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, your intestines, I don't like it.
So as we pass this over to Carmel, I want you to dig a little deeper and give us some substitutions, because a lot of people say, well, don't do this, but it's like, okay, so what do I do? So her fit tip of the day is stay away from processed food. Throwing it to Carmel.
Cynthia, as usual, you do such an amazing job with that. And yes, everything Cynthia said, everything she said. And the most important thing is to read the labels, right? So if you stay in the perimeter of the store, you pick up a fresh thing of broccoli, there's no label to read. So we want to focus on that. So when we say processed foods, don't eat processed foods or limit your processed foods, you want to consider whole foods. What is a whole food? That broccoli you just picked up with no label on it. That pork chop you just picked up with no label in it. All these things that we're picking up from the store, they should have, number one, either no label so that you know where they're coming from. The label that you want to see on your meats is what? The grass-fed, right? The organic. That's what you want to see on labels when you pick them up and you know that they are whole foods. Other than that, if you pick up a box, you want to make sure that, yes, Queen Cynthia said sodium. She mentioned cholesterol. She mentioned the fat. But also the sugar. There's so much sugar in so many of our foods. Why? And I always say this. Anybody who hears me, I always talk about that peanut butter because I was obsessed with peanut butter for a while. There is sugar in peanut butter. Why? So there's sugar in a lot of the foods. Even Chris brought up the other day, even in your salt. If you're buying that certain salt with that little girl in her umbrella, she brings salt with her. All right. She brings sugar with her in her salt. But I'm just saying maybe other brands to just check ingredients. And for a long time, I never checked the ingredients of my salt because I'm like, this is salt. And then I turned around and said, oh, snap. All right. So then we have to pay attention. So, Tina did ask, what would we buy instead? Pick up those foods that you love, but again, you want to look at, I wanted to say 5 ingredients, but guys, 3 ingredients or less. If you pick up peanut butter and you see 10 ingredients, why? Pick up the peanut butter that has 1 ingredient, maybe 2. I pick up the peanut butter, now I just do almond butter. And my almond butter has 1 ingredient, almonds. My almond milk has 2 ingredients, almonds and water. Look at your ingredients. Pick up the most whole food that you can possibly pick up. And like I always say, add more plants to your plates. Plants, we can make them delicious. They don't have to taste bad. And we're doing amazing things for our body when we add more plants to our plate. And if you want to learn how, I have a course on that, how to add more plants to your plate and make it delicious. So I hope I answered your question, Tina. And again, I hope I wasn't too long-winded because I can
never long-winded. But girlfriend, you didn't tell everyone how they can contact you. If anyone wants to meet Carmel, fitness professional, here on YouTube or LinkedIn, how can they reach you?
Yes. You can reach me by tapping onto my face. I have my coach, my 10K card attached. And on YouTube, I partnered up with that beautiful queen on top, stars Tina, and we have a Fitness on Fire YouTube page. It's The Fitness on Fire Experience. The Fitness on Fire Experience. We're looking for more support, so we want you to subscribe, like, comment, share, all the things. And there we'll interview folks. We'll talk about nutrition. I cook for you guys. I cook for you. So with that said, yeah, Tina, thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Alrighty, guys, it's time to get started with the conversation of the day. As you know, you are in the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club. Thank you guys for coming through all the time. Today, we're talking about grounding. We're talking about earthing, all things to keep you going. Carmel actually brought the conversation up last week, and I watched the movie last week. If you have not watched it yet, I do invite you. It's called Earthing. And on Tuesdays, we have Mary Kim in here. A little bit about Mary Kim, guys. She's an amazing mom. I like to think of her as an empowerment coach. She may not say that for herself, but when I think of her as an empowerment coach, because the more I get to know her, it's like peeling away that onion. It's like, wow, she went through that. Wow. Because sometimes in life, we look at other people and we look how they present themselves. I'm like, wow, your life must have been so easy. You're so lucky. And then when I talk to her and she tells me things, I'm like, what? And I found, at least for myself anyway, the people who've gone through a lot of stuff, I don't want to say the most stuff, but I'm going to say the most stuff, they're the strongest. They have the most energy. It's kind of scary, but it's true. So with that being said, guys, Maria Solar, welcome. My go-to guy, Dwayne. Hey, Sunita just left out of there. Welcome. Today it's all about being truthful with how you're filling up your cup. And this is one way of how to fuel your cup. And at the end of the conversation, after Mary Kim has, it's going to be a group collab, but she's going to start first. We're going to talk about ways that you fill up your cup. Yesterday's discussion was amazing. I took so many notes. We had Big Mike in here. We had some other people when we were talking about filling up your cup as well. But with that being said, I'm going to hush and I'm bringing her on the screen. So guys, if you are on YouTube, you see her beautiful face. You see me on mic. Make some noise. Give it up for Mary Kay. this. She's so amazing. When you're, I don't want to say arguing with someone, but for me, you might say it's arguing, but for me, it's talking with a lot of energy and action. But she said, just touch that person. Like when you're having that conversation and you're like, touch them, and that'll calm you down. That'll calm them down. Has anyone ever done this before? I see you nodding, Mary Kim.
I've done that. Oops, I hear myself. But yeah, I've done that where if somebody's like going on a rant, I'll literally just touch their arm and just squeeze it slightly and just kind of like breathe, and it really stops them. And I don't do it violently. I don't do it like it's just kind of like hey, and it calms them, and it kind of just brings everybody back to this certain level where we can now let's just talk and let's just talk this out. I'm complete.
I love it. That's interesting you said, Carmel, because my son, when my brother was not in a healthy space, he would get really raged and stuff, and we were out to dinner.
I don't know why, but for some reason you sound kind of speakerish. There you go. Go ahead. We can't hear you now. We can't hear you. Nope, we can't hear you. Now we can.
Okay, well,
Why are you going in and out this
Can you hear me
time? I can hear you, yes.
Okay, perfect. So my brother was like really angry, and my son, he was like, into his Sesame Street, and he reaches
As always, Mary Kim, I love those shares, and a lot of them were reminders, right? But that's what we often need. We need the reminders, and we need the clarity, and also the pat on the back that if we're practicing something that you listed, all right, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track. So thank you, Mary Kim, for bringing that and bringing your energy. I appreciate it, and I just loved it. So I'm complete.
Yay.
Thank you. Love you too.
So I did write some notes here. I loved when you were talking about time and how sometimes we take time for granted. And I remember years ago, I did an event with this person. It was called Newark Illustrated Idol. And I was one of the judges for it. And they had this girl come up and she had to perform everyone had to audition. And when she was there, it literally took her like a minute to figure out what she was going to sing. It was hilarious. One of the funniest videos I've seen in my life. It's actually of me. It's just so funny. It's ridiculously funny. And he says in it, and he said it's 86,400 seconds in a day. And it took you a minute to figure out what song you were going to sing. And it just made me think the seconds, they go by so quickly. And in life, we really have to just capture each and every moment. So I loved when you said that. And then the 5 senses. I didn't even know this, so I loved it when you said if you wanted to be grounded. And there's some people who aren't able to go outside because of physical reasons, or maybe mentally, like you're not to say you're scared, but you just are paralyzed and not able to go outside. Maybe you're having those days where you're depressed. But I loved how you said use your 5 senses to help get you grounded. And girl, I keep my bracelets on, my rings, my necklace, my little Grace rock here. As you were talking, I put on my calming oil. Like, I have all this stuff to keep me grounded, and I'm still all over the place. So could you imagine how wild I would be if I didn't have all this stuff on my side? Crystal, I would love to hear from your thoughts on the topic. Did you want to add to the conversation? Comment, go for it.
Good morning, ladies. As always, thank you for allowing me to come up. I love everything that Mary Kim shared. That's beautiful. She reminded me about capturing the moments. Part of the reason why when I do things with my son, I take a lot of pictures so that, and then I stopped doing physical scrapbooks because they take up too much space, but I do digital ones. So we capture those moments, and we can kind of go back and remember those good times, those good feelings. But when she mentioned something about you can't just capture, you can't, people say just get over it and move on. I'm like, own it, then release it. Because when you own what you're going through and you come and you work on yourself to move on like she was talking about, you can release it and be in such a better space of being healed. And I know that because my son and I went through domestic violence and being homeless and stuff with a child and all that, and it's like part of the reason I'm able to stay grounded is because I'm not living in those moments, but I remind those I periodically remember where I came from, remember what I've been through, to look at the road, just to look back at the road we've traveled to stay grounded. Remember, we've come a long way. So when I start going hard on myself, I'm not doing this, not doing that, I just just take a quick glance at the road that we've traveled. My son and I for 2 years were homeless after a domestic violence situation, and now we went from being homeless to in a 2,500 square foot house. So I look at the road we've traveled, and I stay grateful for everything that we've come through, and I embrace those moments as I was built stronger during those times, not on what those times did, but on the strength that I've gained from them. So I loved everything she was sharing about, and I'm like, own your situation, release it, but remember to look back and just celebrate the road you've traveled and how far you've come, because we don't celebrate ourselves enough. I yield my mic.
Absolutely, Crystal. Thank you so much for sharing and your honesty and transparency. It's so important. Yes, and that is a good tip as well. What you just shared is that, as we go on through this life, especially, most of us on this stage are entrepreneurs in one way or another, or thinking, or just starting, or trying to elevate. And sometimes we live in this state of, or this mindset for a while of being fearful of taking the next step, taking the extra leap. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves of what we've already overcome in our life. And we're here today, and if you look back and be honest with your journey up to date, and you can see all the adversities that you've overcome, whether consciously or unconsciously, and that will give you power and strength to just go ahead and just go forward. Because if you look back and you say, I overcame all of that, what am I thinking and stewing over, just making this business move to call this person? Let's put these into perspective. So utilize your adversities, utilize what you've gone through to empower you forward. And that is the beauty of not living in the past, but utilizing it to strengthen you forward. So thank you, Crystal, so much for that.
Hey, Mary Kim, it's Renee. Can I jump in and do a quick reset for the room?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
Okay, good morning again, everybody. I want to remind you that you are in the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club. If you have not done so already, please go up to the top and click that Mansion and give us a follow. We would so appreciate that. And we want you to also know that we would love for you to share this room out into the hallways, because we want to pour as much into everybody as we can, and not just Clubhouse hallways. Do it on your social media apps as well, because we realize that you have a choice when you come in here, and we appreciate that you let us pour into you and you pour into us. And so we want to reach out and touch as many lives as we can. And we also want you to join in the chat. You can join in the chat by typing your comments. The little icon is on the bottom left, or you can come up and join us on stage. Just raise your hand and we will bring you up and join in the conversation. And with that, I will release the mic back to Mary Kim.
Thank you very much. So guys, if you're just coming into the space, Mary Kim is leading us today on a wonderful conversation. Besides sharing out the room, guys, I want us to do a little bit more because we're coming towards the top of the hour shortly. And before we get out of here, I just want you to ping some people in. And I want you to keep pinging until it turns red. What does that mean? If you're in these Clubhouse streets, which we love, you're clicking that button and then it's going to say share. And I want us to keep sharing, keep pinging until your screen turns red. I know yours is still not red because mine is not red. And I'm still pinging and pinging. Doesn't matter who, just ping everyone in here. Because I find the last hour is when the conversation gets the most juiciest. Today, we are talking about finding your truth, growing and filling up your cup. I want to say good morning, Chantel, Latrice, Candace, thank you for coming through. Mary Kim is talking about earthing and grounding and all those wonderful things. Before I throw it back to her, I just want to tap into something that Crystal said that made me get an aha moment when she was saying that she takes a lot of pictures and now she makes them digitally. Yesterday, for some reason, I was thinking of things that I did as a kid that were on VHS. No, I'm really aging myself. Does anyone have any VHS? Is that how you say it? Is that what they were? They go in. Yes, and I'm like, I remember.
Over. Those can be converted. You have to. Some places can actually take your VHS stuff and convert it over to a more recent technology.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to dig into storage boxes because I thought of when I was younger and I used to do pageants and fashion shows, and I'm like, I really want to see what those look like, but I think I will get them converted because it's memories, right? If you think about back in the 20s and 30s and you have the black and white pictures of your family and then you convert those and you keep it, it's the memory. So I love when you said that. And then something else that Mary Kim said was realizing what you've done in the past. I've never done that. In my head, I have, well, I did this, I did that, but writing down all the great accomplishments that you've achieved, that's one thing that I think is great. When you look at all the wonderful things. And then secondly, think of all the things that you've overcome that you never thought you could overcome. You know, whether it's loss of a family member, maybe getting sick, losing a job, you know, and at that moment in time, it probably was super scary, right? I remember my son was a senior in high school and I got laid off of my job. And I was freaking. I'm like, his prom is coming up. You know, the last year of high school, you want to do all these things. And I was freaking, but I got through it. So sometimes I think we have to just go back and realize all the wonderful stuff we've overcome. And then when you think about the current moment in time, it's like, well, you know what? This situation isn't that bad, right? So I'm going to throw it back to Mary Kim so she can just do a quick recap for those that came into the space. If you want to come up to the stage, raise your hand. What we're doing today is we're giving tips to fill up our cup because that's what it's all about this week, filling up your cup because we want our cups overflowing, right? Overflowing with energy. And people ask me all the time, well, where do you get the energy from? I think because I'm always keeping myself super grounding with my rocks and that stuff. So Mary Kim, throwing it back to you. And if anyone wants to come up and add value, we'd love to hear you. Go for it, Mary Kim.
Yes, definitely. Anyone come up stage. But Tina, I love that you shared that. I actually did that list. I took my one of my journals I always write in, and I literally, I think it was last year or a year and a half ago, I literally wrote down all the things I've overcome, all the things I've powered through, because I was like in a place that I'm like, I needed to find myself again. I need to like remind myself, you know, like after COVID and all that stuff and like figuring all the things out. And I did that, and it was so powerful. And I just wrote, like, when it came to me, it is so powerful. Whatever, if you have a journal or like maybe a little notebook you get at the dollar store, write it all in there, throw it in your bag, and so when you need it, you just flip it open and read it. It's so incredibly powerful. So thank you, Tina, for sharing that. Yeah, we've been talking about grounding and like how mindfulness is different from grounding. And grounding utilizes all the senses. So that's touch, smell, taste, sight, and feeling. And sometimes if you want to feel connected and grounded and you're not in a space or you're not with anyone, we were talking about how hugging is crucial and important and how it automatically, and Carmel, I'm reading it, what it does actually is when you hug, touch, or sit close to someone you love, your body releases oxytocin, I think I said it right, which scientists call the cuddle hormone. So this hormone can help you relax and lower anxiety, which in turn can effectively lower blood pressure. And it's all good for our hearts. But also I was sharing that, so maybe you're by yourself, you know, and you just need that sensory, you know, like kids on the spectrum, they need that touch sensory, or that feeling of being connected. And so you can utilize a pillow and hug it. You know, you get that feeling of cuddleness. Have a stuffed animal. And I do this a lot to my son. So when my son's not like he's making these noises and I don't really know what's going on, I'll just come over and I'll just give him a big hug. And I can feel his body just kind of like calm down instantly. So a hug is magical. So sharing that and how mindfulness, because I thought mindfulness and grounded was the same. So I really believe that our mind can really control every aspect of our feelings, our emotions, if we utilize the tools and if we have the capability of utilizing our minds. And mindfulness is just utilizing your sensations of being present in the moment, and it has nothing to do with any of the other senses. It's really just mindset. It's your mental capacity, where grounding is mental and physical, utilizing all your senses. So that's kind of what we were leaning into when we were opening up the chat.
Mary Kim, I just want to take that. Mary Kim, I just want to take that for a quick second, because I just got it. What you said, the difference is from mindset, mindfulness, and grounding. Would you say that the 4 elements of the earth have to do more with grounding, probably, right? And those are earth,
Yes.
water, fire, and air.
I would absolutely say yes, more grounding, because mindfulness is just really your mindset. It's all mental. And grounding is utilizing one or all of those senses, whatever in that moment. And there may be different moments where you need more touch than you need more sight. And sometimes for me, it's like a dark piece of chocolate, like, yes, I'm good. You know?
You keep talking about that chocolate this morning.
It's my treat. It's my treat. I really eat just one thing, and it's so rich and dark. I don't need another one. I'm like, so good. Yeah, so whatever it is, maybe it's a smoothie, you know, or, you know, something.
You know what I've done for myself? I actually did it since Sunday. I find if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I feel I have to be in control. They say that, I guess, bulimia or anorexic, I don't know which one is correct, but they feel like they need to be in control. That's why they do that. So for myself, this weekend, I just said, you know what? I want to fast. I want to just, get closer to myself. And the control of it just felt weird. Like yesterday, I just had peanut butter. And I say this all the time with my clients, when you're eating, use all your senses. And when I had the peanut butter, sorry, Carmel, I didn't look at the packaging. I did look at the protein, I didn't look at the sugar. But I thought about the peanut, like the actual taste, the smell, the touch, where it came from, how it grew. And I think if we do our mindfulness and our grounding a little more in life, yesterday we had a deep conversation about it. It'll just really make life a lot better. Because life is hard. I mean, I don't watch the news, but I hear different things. And if we just stay in the moment and just be in a happy place, that'll help. Throwing it back to you and Colleen, because I know she had raised her hand.
That was awesome, Tina. I love that. And I did read someplace that, while you're chewing and you think about the process, you can taste all the different ingredients because you're focusing on that taste that you're feeling and you're like breaking it down. So that's so powerful. But just really quick, I'll yield the mic to Colleen. There was a time period that controlling my life was cutting my hair. Because I couldn't control anything. I wasn't into drugs or alcohol.
How old were you?
And I was like, I'm chopping my hair. And
How old were you?
Short. Like, I would literally, cut it all off. And then I'm like, okay, at least I got control of my life because I cut my hair. Like,
How old were you?
I haven't done that in a couple of years.
How old were you? I don't know if you heard me. How old were you?
Oh, this was, I think it's only not happened in the last 2 years. But if you look back at any of my pictures, it really happens at the end of the year to the beginning of the next year. Hair short, cut it off. Like literally, I would literally just cut it off or go to the salon.
And they,
My way, like, I don't know what to do. Like I need control of my life. All right, I'm gonna cut my hair. I can do that without causing too much damage to anything.
I see women do that too as well. Like if they're in a relationship and they want to get over a guy, they'll like chop their hair off. I've seen that happen too.
Yeah, mine was just my own mental state of trying to control something in my life. Anyways, I'm gonna yield the mic, Colleen or Renee. I see you flashing. Whoever wants it, it's yours.
I was just flashing because I actually did that once. I've had pretty decent length of hair most of my life, but I cut it off one time when I was in high school, like really short, like short. So I totally get that. It's a matter of control, and it was more like, you like my long hair? I'm not going to have long hair anymore type thing. So
Feel you.
I totally get that.
Yeah,
What
I
did you-
cut mine like back on Ghost Days. Debbie Moore did that whole like really short, like that short. I cut up to that point. Yeah, it's just I wanted control of my life, so I cut my hair.
Renee, what did you like best about the conversation with the difference between grounding and mindset? Renee, what tapped into you most?
Well, you know that for me, they go hand in hand. I always go back to mindset, but I believe that grounding, actually, you know, I believe that it has an equal purpose because it, like you've already talked about, you know, it gives us, you know, that connection with the earth. I actually was thinking, I used to, I've not done it this far. I love going outside with my bare feet, but I've actually, pardon me, found joy in like squishing my toes in mud. I don't know if anyone has ever done that, but it's like, I love that. Or in the sand, like when you're going to the beach and you're in the water, but just like squishing your, I don't know, it gives me a feeling of you know, connection.
I'm gonna have to try the mud, but me and the beach, I do that all the time. I've never done the mud. I don't really go play in the mud, but I think I may put my toes in mud. It sounds great.
It's been a while, Mary Kim. It's been a while.
But it's cooling like mud. I think it's really cooling, and cooling is it like if you're trying to stay grounded, you can hold ice or something cold. It's also a grounding method. So I think mud is cool, so that works.
Good morning. I agree, Renee. I think that the mud is absolutely amazing. This is Colleen, the VA connection in the orange background down on the bottom. Yeah, it's just a weird sensation, and it certainly is kind of grounding. I did it one time when I was fishing with my grandmother, and the mud got down into the rubber boots that I had on. And I actually lost my boots down in the mud. And not only was it really kind of a cool, different feeling, but it's amazing for your skin. My skin felt so soft afterwards. Something that I used recently, and it's kind of a freeing, amazing experience. I guess the same as Tina was saying about cutting the hair, because we try to have such control in our lives as adults. I paint a lot, and usually I look at something online and I'll duplicate that painting. But lately I've been trying something different where I spread out a sheet on the floor and with my canvas, and I do hair dryer art. And so I just pour onto the canvas my paint and blow it around with a hair dryer. And I really allow myself to be creative and do what I want to do with the paint and allow that to go, where it will, without doing exactly step by step what I've seen. And that kind of has an amazing reset on the brain. This is Colleen, and I'll yield the mic.
That is super cool. What is hairdryer art? Can you explain that?
Yeah, I use acrylic paints, and you want to water it down a little more so it flows a little more. And there's YouTube videos on how to do it. I highly recommend it. It definitely will come off your canvas, so you need a sheet or something on the floor. But how many times as moms do we allow ourselves to be messy? I mean, we don't want this in our house usually, but it is. You're going to get messy. I have paint up to my elbows and all over my clothes, and it's just sitting down and having fun and not worrying about any of that. But so you can pour it in any kind of shape. Usually I do a straight line across the middle of the canvas. I might have several colors, so I'll pour one color. When I did, I'll try to find a picture and put it up in my space, but I did blue down below, white on top of the blue, and then gold on top of that. So I had a line of 3 colors. And then I took a hair dryer and went in different directions with the hair dryer. So up to the right, down to the left, kind of stuck it in the middle and let it kind of flow. It is almost, and it's so satisfying to watch the paint flow. It's almost like waves going across your canvas. And one of my kids looked and said, "Mom, you can sell that. That's like something that would be in a museum." And it was like, I really liked it. It was kind of cool. But just watching the paints go and not having control over everything was so satisfying. I'll go and look for the painting picture and see if I can put it in my space. I'll toss back the mic for now.
That sounds so relaxing, actually. Even though I'm like a big thing about the cleanup and making a mess, like I'm so like, don't do this to my friend. Like when Desi was a baby, she's like, he can get dirty. No, we gotta have the pins to cover all the things. Like I was like obsessed. Now I'm like whatever. But like that sounds so satisfying. I love that, Colleen. Thank you so much. I love it.
You want to go ahead and let the next person speak who wants to?
Yeah, Ash was Ash, you were clapping or on mic?
I'm actually trying to unmic here. I done set the alarm off, so we're just gonna walk away from this situation. So basically, I wanted to tap in what VA said. VA was like how she does her acrylic to do for different colorings. Well, I don't talk about this a lot, but I'm a person who I taste words, especially colors. Like the color purple is horrible to me. I hate saying it. It's disgusting. But when I make my soap, that's how I am. It's like how I feel. It goes into my soap, and I call my soap my canvas. So I kind of understand what you're saying, VA. I took this talent and now I made it into something different. Sorry about that. I'm trying to fix that alarm. And that's how I stay grounded. Just making soap keeps me grounded. That's one thing. The other thing is I kind of DJ a little bit. I'm still learning that task. But just little simple things like that just keeps me grounded. And with that being said, I gotta go. Love you all.
I love that. I know a lot of adults. There's an adult color that came out a few years ago, and that was grounding for a lot of people to keep calm. I do crosswords puzzles. I mean, word find, not crosswords, but word find. That's calming for me. But welcome, Booney and Shahid. I don't know if you guys want to unmic and join in the conversation, talk about grounding and what things that you may use for grounding. We'd love to hear from you. You could just unmic.
Hello. Thank you so much. Glad to be here again. It's my second day in a row. It's an honor. So being grounded. Well, for me, as some of you are aware, I tend to use my will to remain in the present moment as much as possible. So meaning in the present moment while sensing my inner energy and energies around. And I mix it all up with my awareness and I remain there as much as I possibly can throughout the day. It creates calmness, which is very important for creativity, and what I like to call on-demand thinking, because once you're calm, you allow those thoughts to come in flow through. You're just aware of them. But sometimes you get a goodie, and then you take action on that. So being grounded is just remaining in my presence in the present moment. Thank you.
I love that, Shahid. Shahid, we shared that earlier about how important it is to stay in the present moment. You know, seconds and memories are really the most important things in life, because life can be taken away or shifted in a second. So I love your share. And thank you for coming back. It's always great to see people come back and share and add value to our space. We appreciate each one of you. So yeah, I don't know who else wants to chime in or add. Sing, you can have the mic. Welcome everyone for being here. We're so glad you are all here. Oh, Texas. Pete, if you want to come up stage. Miss Hattie, if you want to share, we welcome you guys. You guys can come up. I'm going to invite you guys if you guys want to come in.
I think we're getting near the top. Great conversation again, Mary Kim. I love having you on these Truthful Tuesdays, and I feel as we get to know each other better, we're learning from each other, and it's just really building up inside. Guys, we're near the top of the hour, and today we're talking about filling up our cup even more. Yesterday, Shahid, was it Colleen yesterday as well that was helping us? Yes, the two of them yesterday were giving master classes. Everyone was just fueling in. We started the day talking about getting rid of the processed foods. And as you know, we're here Monday through, she came to the stage. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m., just bringing all the love and support. Miss Hattie, Mommy, did you want to share anything before we get out of here on the topic? I saw you with your video with your toes. Can you speak louder? You sound very far away. Very faint. You're way in the distance. I don't know if you have your AirPods on. You'd have to take the AirPods off. Guys, this is my mother. She's been, I think it's the ketones that's getting her extra motivated. She's doing videos every day. She's, here we go with the sneezing again. Excuse me. Yes, thank you. Mom, are you able to speak? Are you able to unmic and share your thoughts on the conversation? You sound very far away. Excuse me. Yeah, we can't really hear you. I don't know if you have to go out of the app and then come back. Guys, we're here live on Clubhouse. We're also on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, coming to the top of the hour. Mommy, we do want to hear from you, so leave out of the room and then come back into the room. Today, Mary Kim taught us the difference between grounding and actual mindset. And she gave us some tips on how to stay grounded. We were talking about the movie Earthing. If you have not watched it, I invite you to go on YouTube. It's absolutely free. It's going to change your mind. Say something, Mommy. Let's see if we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say that recently I just found out about the grounding, and my way of getting grounding was go outside and walk barefooted on the grass. And I've noticed that I feel better walking because I was a child. As a child and growing up, I never walked barefooted. I'm a sock-footed child, and I didn't mind that my girls did it. So that's the newest thing that I'm doing. Make sure every day I go outside and I walk around the grass for at least 30 minutes or do a workout on it, and I feel amazing. Thank you very much. My name is Miss Hattie.
Yes, and in the movie Grounding, I'm sure you guys may have seen this, they were talking about children, how as soon as they get out of bed, I'll let Mary Kim share. Go ahead, Mary Kim, this is your day.
No, I was like, yes, I believe the mom was a doctor. And she was noticing that her daughter, was crying all the time. But any time that her feet were touching the ground, whether it was outside or inside, her daughter automatically in her arms was calm. But any time that she wasn't touching the ground in any capacity, her daughter would just be crying. And she believed in it because her daughter was showing this without her daughter knowing. She was an infant, knowing all the dynamics or the science behind it. It was just her natural response. And as a doctor, she shares in the video that she believed in it, but wasn't going to go out there and sharing that because it would have looked like it was not really real. So I love that you share that, Miss Hattie. It's so true about just touching the grass, because it really, like, it's that energy from the earth that goes into your spirit and your mind and your body and your organs. Like, it does something powerful to your organs too, they were sharing. So definitely catch that the movie Earthing on YouTube. It's really powerful.
And that's what's so great, because I wasn't even going to mention that part of the movie, and you hear how Ethan gets something out of the movie. And for me, it was when they were talking about children, how when they first wake up in the morning, they put their slippers on, or they may put socks on, and they're standing on the ground. And then they go downstairs, they go to school, and then they're out on the playground on these rubber soles. And they were saying how the rubber originally came out, I think it was the 50s or 60s, and people thought it was so great, but we just got away from the earth. And children need this more than anything. So I know my niece will like this, going outside with the, the socks on. So, I mean, no socks. Wonderful. So if anyone else has anything else to share, as I said, we're at the top of the hour. If you have not already, click that link at the top, guys. Look at Mary Kim and I as we're waving to you right now. On my screen, you see our girls, Renee, Ashley, Cynthia. Cynthia, did you want to share anything before we ended the room on your thoughts on grounding and mindset? If you felt there was a difference, anything you may do?
Yes, it's funny. I finally watched it the other day, Tina, all the way through. Actually, I rewatched it again, and I was doing that. I was going out, taking my shoes off, walking in my grass, standing there, and it does make a difference. And you can feel the difference when you stop doing it. Because I stopped, and I think I was talking to you about it. I had stopped doing it. I stopped walking out and, just standing there and just taking that deep breath in and closing my eyes and planting my feet solid right on that ground, right on that dirt, and it does something to you. You can't explain. You can't explain it, but you do feel better. You do feel like you're able to tackle the next issue that comes up in your life, and you're able to handle it better, respond better than reacting to it. So I love it, and my mindset it changed daily, changed minute, second to second, and it helps me, especially when I go through the depression part, when that comes over me. And each time the episodes are not lasting as long as they used to, I'm seeing that, I'm writing it down, I'm journaling. So the mindset and the grounding and all that combined, and getting a routine, as you always say, creating a routine does help. Because when you miss that routine, you're off. Everything kind of fall off. So when you create a routine, even when you're not feeling great, push yourself to do something of that routine, and it would make you feel so much better later on and help you to get through things a little bit quicker. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much. I'm curious, and I don't know if anyone has an answer for this, Shahid, Mary Kim, VA. And VA, don't laugh at me, girl. Today was the first time I realized VA stands for virtual assistant. Guys, she runs a virtual assistant company. For the long time, I was like, what's the VA connector mean? What's that mean? But now I know, guys. So if you need a virtual assistant, tap into her. I spoke with her yesterday, and she's amazing. But when it comes to grounding, I got to thinking, I've been doing this for years unconsciously. And I say that because I think of the different types of grass. Bermuda has these the grass is so thick and so hard, it's like knives. And then in Texas, I guess it depends on where you are with the grass. And where I am now, it's like a little dirty grass. But the question I have for you guys, and I'm not sure if you can answer this, does it work with concrete as well? Or is it just grass and sand and things that are actually to the earth? If anyone knows the answer to this, I would love to know if earthing only applies to earthing stuff, or does it work for concrete? If so, on Mike. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know.
My understanding, it can work, but I believe the dirt is better because it's of the earth. It's beneath the concrete. So I believe the dirt will work better than the concrete because it's something covering the dirt, and you want to get closer to the earth as possible. So if you have nothing around you but concrete, okay, but dirt will work best because it's closer to it's the earth itself. And also I have learned what some people will do, they will go buy dirt and they will put it like in a what they call like a basin or whatever, a bucket or whatever, and they will ground their feet. They will smother their feet inside the dirt that they'll buy, like the dirt they plant or whatever in. They will buy that type of dirt and they will submerge their feet in that dirt if they're not able to get outside and do it on the dirt itself on the outside.
Love it, love it. So guys, if you're wondering what we're talking about, the movie Earthing, Cynthia was saying how you can bring dirt in, but they also have sheets, they have pads you can put on the floor if you want to have that in your house. Mary Kim gave us great tips on using your 5 senses if you want to get grounded as well. And as we end off, guys, there was this guy who used to go to my gym and he never wore shoes or socks. And we actually did a half marathon together in Philadelphia in the cold. And he was barefoot. He never, ever wore shoes and socks. He was an attorney. He said when he had to go into court, he did wear shoes because, it would look kind of weird. But he never, ever wore shoes. And he'd be walking around the gym and the parking lot. So I just had to share that because at first I was like, what is wrong with this man? But then after a while, I was just like, he just doesn't wear shoes and socks. But now I see why. All righty, crew.
He was grounded 24/7 outside of going into the courtroom, which is like, I mean, why not? So, like, he was ahead of, like, he's like, I don't care. This helps me, right? So that's cool. And I love, Cynthia, that you shared that. Like, that's such a cool thing to, like, buy that organic pot soil, plant it somewhere. You just have, like, grounding anytime you need it. I love that that tip. Thank you.
Love it, love it. So, guys, this week, someone else said something. Did I see it here, Mike? I don't know, but I like VA's photo there in the GIFs. Alrighty, guys, so we're coming to the top of the hour, and tomorrow we're going to have a link because each week we're putting all of our topics together and sending them out in an email with all the contact information from all the moderators. As you see, we have Renee, who is our accountability coach. We have Chris, who's our social butterfly. We have Ashley, who's our Owl App / soap maker. We have Mary Kim, who's your empowerment leader. Carmen, who's really into nutrition, but together we are your 8 a.m. cup of motivation here Monday through Thursday, and we want to just pour into you each and every day, whether it's here on YouTube, here on LinkedIn, here on Facebook, here on Clubhouse, and then once you give us your email, we're going to have that link up for you tomorrow. We're going to be able to send you weekly emails with a recap in case you miss anything for during the week. So with that being said, tomorrow we are here. It is Wednesday. It's Wildin' Out Wednesday, Whip It Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday. Whatever you want to call the W. I don't care. I don't mind. But I'm sure I'll have some sort of special guest on here. With that being said, Shahid, thank you for coming through. Karen, Maria, Anthony, Texas Pete, Rosa, Mommy, and the VA virtual assistant coming. Thank you all for coming through. Ciao, ciao. We are out of here. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.